this past May, it was announced that Square Enix is selling off three of their studios. One was Eidos Montreal, and I think the other two were another Eidos studio and Square Enix studio in North America. And a lot of people were speculating that this was because they wanted to concentrate more on their Japanese gaming side, so they can develop that more and put more money into that. Well, that seemingly is being confirmed from an announcement that on a conference call that Square Enix had this past week, where they're looking to sell stakes in some of their studios, or not only just sell stakes, but also have joint partnerships and ventures in some of the studios that they have right now. Nothing has been confirmed. It is still kind of speculative, but just by the way the call went, this is where they're going towards right now. So basically, if the studios aren't purebred Japanese studios, they're looking to sell stakes and have joint venture partnerships, so they don't have to invest more money into these studios. Zero, what did you think about the announcement that Square Enix is looking to sell parts of their studios out or have venture capital partnerships with other companies for these studios?
When I saw the news announcement, the first thing I thought of was the studio behind Life is Strange, because they were one of the few Western studios that was not sold during the whole Square Enix Montreal, Crystal Dynamics, and Eidos sell-off.
Yeah.
So that was my thought. I was just like, oh yeah, they're going to say, hey, just yeah, we've got the side studio. They make the award-winning in Life is Strange. Yeah, you want some good visual novel, slice of life sort of games, then yeah, just you need to toss money at them and tell them what you want done, and that'll be a great way to get things going.
Mm.
And so that was thought number one that I had. Thought number two was, oh yeah, this sounds like they're trying to really lean out their operations and just go real hard into the whole we love our purely Japanese studios, because I know another rumor that had been floating around for a while now, since this whole um, Western studio sell-off, has been that uh, Square Enix is trying to make themselves look great, fit and trim for maybe being purchased up by Sony. And
Yeah.
even now, that rumor is still going completely wild.
See, if that were the case, I'm a little hesitant on saying that's a possibility now, because if that were the case, they would just sell off these studios from China and from other groups in other areas. Because that would be the way to make you more I say attractive for acquisition. But but them selling stakes on these studios, basically saying, hey, you can have a 20% ownership of X studio, which companies like Tencent and Sony are very interested in doing, apparently. Um, at that point, I don't know why Sony would then turn around buy Square Enix if then other companies are going to have control, or not even just control, but will have a financial stake in those other studios that Square Enix has. So, if this was a sell-off, I would agree with you and be like, yeah, they want to be acquired, and fairly soon. But I think just with what they're doing now, it makes it a little less of an attractive offer. Because if you want to buy a studio, straight up, you want total control and to have total financial incentive to keep them. You don't want to share in that. So if that really is the case, I don't know why they would just sell the studios off entirely. Unless they're saying this now as a way to say, hey, we're not selling you off, we're just going to, get more money in there in different means. But in reality, they are selling them off. That's my kind of feeling of it, really. I
Yeah,
don't. Yeah.
I would say it's maybe kind of like a little trial run before they sell off any of the few Western studios that they do have.
Mm.
So just kind of a hey, you can have you can have the guys behind the award-winning Life is Strange games to develop your thing, and then just whoever invests in the studio gets a quality piece of work, and they're just like, oh man, we'd love these guys. We'd love to just have them full time as ours, and then just Square Enix to kind of rapidly turn around and go, oh, so you're interested, are we? Okay, so how about we sell? And then just boom, that studio gets sold off, and they get to lean themselves up for the market. I don't know. That's probably wild speculation on my part.
Yeah. I mean, the Life is Strange series has actually sold pretty well. The first one sold about 1.2 million. Looks like it sold 1.2 million copies. And to Square Enix, that sold extremely strong, they said. The second one was considered financially successful, I should say. Although these are small studios and they're small games, yeah, they make quality enough games where people are interested. The question I would have is then with something like the Life is Strange studio. I don't know what the studio's name is. Oh, it's Don't Nod Entertainment. Um, my question would be, are people going to want stakes in that company to make more Life is Strange? I don't think that's what they would do. I think they would, let's say, I don't know, let's say Sony buys them, okay, or buys a stake in Don't Nod, and whether or not they have controlling interest is debatable. But let's say they say, okay, make a Last of Us version of what you do on Life is Strange. Is that what they would do? Is that what the company would be told to do? And that's the other thing that just dawned on me too. This made no mention if they want to sell controlling shares. So if they want to
Right.
give up a large amount of the studio, so another company can control them, and they'll just reap the profits of what that company does. That also is a possibility in this. So yeah, we don't have a lot of information in regards to what exactly the ideas that they're coming up with is, but to me, it kind of sounds like that. I don't know, like it sounds more along the lines of that Square Enix probably wants to get their hands on other companies and other IPs to boost their credibility in a sort of way without, I don't know, having a lot of lucrative partnerships or buying a lot of studios. It doesn't look like they want to be a super studio like EA or Ubisoft. They want to be a smaller studio.